Hello everybody, I'm Cheryl Talley Moss and I want to welcome you to my YouTube channel. In this episode, I'm going to share with you how I sow green beans directly into my garden bed and add a trellis. I'm going to share with you how I planted even more marigolds into a raised garden bed with some of my zinnias that I grew from seeds. And I'm also going to plant a few tomato seedlings and a few of my pepper seedlings. And last but not least, I'm going to share with you how I pressure can yams and sweet potatoes. Let's get started. It's Monday, March 16th, and we've been getting a lot of rain. All of my rain barrels are full in my containers. So today I transplanted these marigolds. I don't have any grandchildren with me to help me today, and really I could get done much faster, but I do appreciate their help and I love teaching them. So around the perimeter, I put these marigolds, but I didn't put them very close to the edge of the bed like I normally do, because you guys know that I'm doing this for a purpose. I'm planting these marigolds because they're going to help me destroy the bad nematodes in this garden bed. It's currently 65 degrees. It's been raining for the last few days in North Texas. And so while the rain has stopped for an hour or so, I decided to come out and to plant some green beans. I moved this trellis that I had in my side yard, and I got some compost, homemade compost, right there. And you can see I'm adding just a little bit on top of this soil. And by the way, I also divided some society garlic. And I have more right here and over there to do tomorrow. But anyway, I planted some right here, transplanted some that I divided. And I added the compost. And now I'm going to take these green beans. They're called garden beans, Kentucky Wonder pole type, and they will grow up this pole. And so I'll put two beans within every space right here, and that should be plenty. And I should be able to reach in and harvest right here and go around that side and harvest. So I want you to look at that concrete mixer that I'm going to plant some flowers in. Look how full it is, so you can see how much rain we've gotten over the last few days. Okay, I'll be back after I plant the beans. Now, because we've had a lot of rain, I didn't soak the beans because they don't need it, because the ground is real soggy. And that is why I grow in raised beds, because we have a very rainy period in North Texas, and my garden beds in the ground will flood out. So the only thing that I plant in the ground is fruit trees and bushes. I planted this side and covered it up, and now I'm planting this side and I'm getting ready to cover it up. And I just want you guys to know that in a week or two, after these beans sprout up, I will plant some more maybe behind them so that I can have succession planting. That way I won't have to harvest all of them at the same time. Okay, so that's all done. And I left my seed package on the top of there, and I'll make a label. And I'm happy to get that done. And now I think I'm going to plant a few more seedlings. I'm going to plant these, my zinnias. As you can see, they're getting ready to flower. And this marigold. So I'll plant these three, and that'll be it for today. Okay, guys, I have the marigold and the two zinnias planted there, and then the space right above it, I'll plant some tomato plants tomorrow. Okay, bye for now. Okay, guys, I'm getting ready to transplant some tomatoes. seedlings. And the first thing I'm going to do is get me some compost that I dug up from my compost bin. And as you can see here, this was a a banana, because the sticker is still sticking on it, attached to it. But that's a banana. That's all decomposed in here, because this has been decomposing for probably about 6 years, because it was at the very bottom of the bin. Yeah, so, and I had never completely emptied it. So this is some of the richest soil that I can get my hands on. So that is the secret that I posted yesterday, that I was going to show you how to make your tomatoes grow very large. Homemade compost is the key. So I remember clearly when my garden took a turn for the better and I started getting incredible results. And it was when I started adding compost to my garden beds and containers. So I'm shoveling up some, and all I'm gonna do is take the big pieces of debris out. The small pieces will continue to break down. Okay, now I'm gonna show you the second thing that I add in the hole where I put my tomatoes, and that is organic garden lime. Now this is usually in a powder, but I thought my grandbaby brought it in and somehow it got left out in the rain. But that's not going to hurt it, because I just picked it up when I walked outside and noticed it was out in the rain. I just picked it up and put it in this little tote, and I'm gonna scoop some up and put it in here and stir it up. I'll be right back. So I cut out the top so I can get some out. And I don't have any help today with the camera, so I'm going to put the camera down and I'm going to stir this up really good, and I'll be back. She mixed up that garden lime with that compost like she was making a meatloaf, like she added onions, peppers, and garlic to some ground beef. I mean, she mixed that stuff up good. And now I prepared my rainwater. This is my rainwater right here. And in it, I put 2 tablespoons of fish fertilizer and 2 tablespoons of Neptune's fish and seaweed fertilizer. I know, at least for my experience, I don't know about anybody else, the fish fertilizer is not enough for my flowering plants, herbs, and fruits. When I started adding seaweed to my fish emulsion, along with the garden lime, along with especially the compost, I should start getting better results. Okay? But the main thing as far as the results getting better was when I added homemade compost. And tomatoes, everything was looking pretty good, the peppers. Then I started using the garden lime to prevent blossom end rot. As the weather gets warmer, if you see like a little sunburns on the bottom or the side of your tomatoes and peppers, you may think it's from the sun, but it's blossom end rot that comes from your soil not feeding your tomatoes enough calcium. And so that's the second thing I added, and my tomatoes started doing better. Then I started giving it fish emulsion. It got a little bit better. But when I started adding seaweed, it just knocked it out the park. And then I saw on somebody's YouTube channel to order the seaweed fertilizer with the fish emulsion in it for your flowering plants. And man, I'm telling you, everything just exploded. So that's my secret ingredients. Nothing expensive. You don't need a lot of it. Trust me. You don't want to over give your plants fertilizer, whether it is chemicals, which I don't use, or whether it is organic, because you can give your plants a little bit too much. Okay, I used to drink a lot of green tea, and I save these gallons because these gallons, guys, they are heavier than any gallon jug I've ever seen. So I'm in the greenhouse, and as you can see, the tomato plants are growing like crazy. Let me try to slow down and walk. We have 2 celebrities, 1 green giant, and 3 early girls. And we planted a lot of marigolds, a few zinnias, or zinnias, and I still have marigolds to plant, and I still have all of these right here to go outside. And you remember the experiment that I told you guys I was going to do with Pepper Place? It's looking good. Everything is perked up, and I'm glad I didn't sweep the straw up. In fact, I'm going to put more down until we get over the rainy season, because sometimes I slip. I fell a couple of times too. Thank God I didn't hurt anything. I'm too old to be falling. So I'm going to put straw all down here and down the pathway when I finish. Now let me share something with you. You got to be careful with a greenhouse, because you will let in, let's get this rainwater out the way. I did this yesterday, but I didn't film it. You will let in chewy insects. You see something's been chewing right here, here. I saw someplace over here, right here. So I'm going to get my neem oil out, my pure cold pressed neem oil. I just saw something flying around here too. It looks like a fly. But not neem oil sprays or neem oil soaps, just the pure cold pressed neem oil. I'm saying this for my new subscribers. If you will get that, and I buy mine from Amazon and eBay, if you will get that and just add a tablespoon into about 32 ounces of water, mix it up. When the weather is less than 85 degrees, you can add a few drops of Dawn dish soap. That'll make it stick or adhere to the leaves. And you want to spray underneath and on top. And I'm telling you, those insects will die. These are the sunflowers that I found growing in the compost bin. In 28-degree weather, they survived. The reason why they survived is because, let me see if I can get a shot over there. Right there where the compost bin, you see it. But it was on the other side of it where you see that little dirt patch right there. That's actually compost. I still got to shovel up. Right in front of it where it had a windbreak, these seedlings just popped up. I scooped them up, transplanted them in compost, brought them out to the greenhouse, and they're standing, so they may make it. Now here's a zinnia that I planted, and you see it's getting ready to flower. And check this out, guys. This sunflower is getting ready to flower. And here's another zinnia. See the bulb? It's getting ready to flower. And look at these 2 over here. Getting ready to flower, and I see a hole in one of those leaves. Something is chewing on it. I'm going to knock you out too with my pure cold pressed neem oil, a drop of Dawn dish soap, and some water. Now, before I left out of here yesterday, I put some plants in the front of the greenhouse in case I I didn't want to go all the way in here, but I decided the humidity is too high, so I let this opening up in here to let some fresh air in here. It's currently, I think, about 70 degrees, 68 degrees, so it'll be fine. So I have two tomato plants that I grew from seeds that I'm going to bring out to the garden bed. This is a green tomato. It's going to stay green when it's ripe. If you're new to my channel, I grew some of these varieties in the winter, and thinking I can get a larger green tomato to fry and to can and, you know, to preserve for later. And then this one, oops, I don't know what it is. We'll know when he comes in. These are all heirloom zinnias, and right there on the end there, these are pepper plants, sweet peppers, and they're getting ready to create peppers. I see the little balls. So I'll pick these up, head on over to the garden bed, and I'll meet you there. I normally put 8 tomato plants in this 8-foot garden bed. According to the square foot gardening method, you could put 1 plant per square foot. So actually you could put 16, but I'll put 8. But I'm only going to put 2. A giant green tomato that has like a potato leaf to it. And this one here, I'm not really sure if it's a beefsteak or a black cherry. I'll know as soon as they start to present flowers. And then on the back row, I'm going to put 1 sweet pepper there and 1 sweet pepper here. And because this space, I put this platform too close to the garden bed, that's why I chose to put the peppers on this side, because they won't produce as fast as the tomatoes, and my grandkids can go over there and harvest them behind there until I get my sons to move this platform here. When you dig in that hole, don't be afraid to dig it deep. It looks like it's not that deep, but it's almost as deep as this container. And then I'm gonna scoop up 2 scoops of my compost. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my tomato in the hole on its side. See how I did that? Lay it there and then cover it up. And if you look at all my tomatoes in my videos, this is how I grew them last year and the year before. Now you see what I'm going to do? I'm just going to prop that up. It's going to stand up. Now I'm going to have to put the camera down. See how I took all those leaves off? You can see them right here, here, and here. I took those leaves off. Now I'm going to mound that soil up to where you see my thumb. But I can't do it without filming and stepping in the bed. I don't want to step in the bed because I do a no-dig growing method. So I'll put the camera down. I'll come back when it's all mounded up. The soil is mounded up. Tomato plant is standing up. They're very flexible, and the roots can just shoot out instead of just wrapping around in a circle or going straight down. It'll allow you to have more vigorous growth when you plant it like that. Okay, so now I'm going to plant this pepper plant here, pepper plant there, and that tomato right over there, and then I'll come back. Okay guys, I'm done. I added 1 more zinnia right there to balance off the one that I put here, and I have 2 on this end, so they will be balanced. And I have the pepper plant on either side of the leaves. I've shook up my fish emulsion and seaweed, and now I'm going to give everybody a drink, and I'm not going to video all of that because you don't need to watch that. And that's it. The procedure for pressure canning sweet potatoes is very simple. All you have to do is just peel your potatoes, make sure you don't have any blemishes on them, and then you will slice them, chop them, or dice them, depending on what you're going to use them for. I'm going to cream these potatoes, and so I don't add sugar to my sweet potatoes unless I'm going to make a pie or something, and I'll do that after I open the jar up. So you just chop them up, put them in a pot with cold water, bring them to a boil for about 15 minutes. And then you want to spoon them into your sanitized jars, add some of the liquid, fill it up to about an inch of the rim, and then you're going to wipe the rims of your jars off with vinegar. That's what I use. You can just use water if you want to, but I use vinegar because it is a sanitizer. And then you're going to place your lid and your rings, and then you're going to tighten them up just finger tight. Put your jars in your pressure canner and follow your manufacturer's directions from there, but you want to process them for 90 minutes for quarts. Now, these are 1.5 pints, so I process them for the same time as you would quarts. After you have completed the canning process, remove the jars from the canner, put them on a towel or a chopping board or cutting board, and leave them undisturbed for 24 hours. The next day, you can remove the rings, wash your jars, and date them. All right. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to watch my video. And if you're new to my channel and you haven't subscribed, please hit that button right now. The like and subscribe. And be sure to turn on the bell so that you'll be notified whenever I put on a new video.
The end.